no gloves again.
Hello, my name's Suzanne. I grow cut flowers in Devon in the UK, and today you join me in my very, very untidy floral studio, where it may seem a little bit early, but I'm just potting up some dahlias. And the reason I'm potting them up so early is because I would like to take cuttings from these dahlias. So I've ordered these dahlias from Peter Neeson Ltd, which is in the UK. And I'm just going to be starting them off in a tray of compost. I just want to briefly touch on my flower growing journey a little bit, because I think it's going to be quite relevant to what I'm talking about today. So I started growing cut flowers in 2019, but I didn't start selling them until 2021. And in 2021, I really did not know what I was doing. I didn't have any real means of selling my flowers. I didn't have a market. I hadn't advertised myself anywhere. So I just started doing market bouquets in that first year. And that's how I really got the bug on growing the flowers. And from there, my business, which is definitely a side hustle, okay, this is not my full-time job or income, this is a side hustle, it's been slowly evolving. So where my business is now at the moment is that I create flowers to order. I don't make things and then wait for someone to come buy them. I wait for someone to buy them and then make them. So generally I'm doing a real mix, but it's still predominantly retail bouquets that I'm doing for birthday presents, just gifts, things like that. But I did last year just venture into events ever so slightly. And I must admit that's really where my heart, I think, is in the event. Like, I think I'll always do the retail bouquets, but I'm really keen to drive the event flowers part of my business. And that means I still want everything in my business to change organically. I don't want to force any change. So I'm slowly changing some of the varieties of flowers I grow a little bit. So generally speaking, although there's no hard fast rule, retail bouquets, people like bright colours. So because of that, last year when I replaced all of my dahlias that I'd lost, I replaced them with quite a lot of bright colours, but also quite autumnal colours, because obviously dahlias are the flowers you're going to have in the autumn, so it makes sense for them to fit with that colour palette. But just recently I've had a few inquiries for a few more weddings. And one of them is right at the latter end of the season, right at the end of September, and then another August, where I think that actually having some lighter coloured dahlias are going to be a benefit for me. Where I'm going to plant them, who knows, because my garden is still only the same size as it was last year, and for some reason I think I can fit more plants in it. But anyway, with this in mind, I went internet shopping. Oh my goodness me. So everything in here is sort of with events in mind. So I haven't bought these thinking that they're going to be for retail bouquets. And I've only bought one dahlia of each of my new varieties, and that is because my plan is to get these started in my kitchen and take cuttings now, so that by the end of September I'll have more than the initial plant producing, but I'll have all of its little plant babies producing as well. So I've ordered these bulbs in the UK from Peter Neeson. I've not ordered from there before, but they seem to have the varieties that I wanted. So I've done a bit of research by talking to other flower farmers and come up with these dahlias, although a couple of them I just chose because I like the picture, which you do. And this one I chose because I've grown Karma Choc in the past, and I've also grown Karma Naomi, who I've hopefully she's made it through the winter. I must go and check those. So this one I've ordered is Karma Serena, and that's because the Karma series are quite a good cut flower. So fingers crossed. So there's just one of those, and we're going to pop that one up and take some cuttings from her. And then, even though I've got a cafe au lait outside, I've ordered a new one to take cuttings from, because mine is in a pot and I am suspicious about its health. So I would rather create some new plants from a nice healthy tuber. So that's cafe au lait. And this one is just, again, if I'm going to be creating event flowers, I don't want all my dahlias to be the same shape. I want, a variety. So this is a cactus dahlia, and this is My Love. I have heard that this one can have quite short stems, so it would be interesting to see. It does say height 80 centimetres, which I suppose if you compare that to 1.2 metres is a bit shorter. So I have to make sure I put this at the front of the bed. And this one is Snowflake. And then look at the size of this one. This is the one that I chose because I like the picture. But having said that, I keep looking at other pictures and none of the pictures look the same. So it'll be interesting. It says cream, but some of the pictures I've seen are a bit yellow. So we'll see. This is Caramel Antique. And look at the size of that tuber compared to the others. Huge. And then this one is, this is just one I chose because I liked it. This has got nothing to do with events. This is a decorative dahlia called Natalie G. So we'll see how that one comes up. Now, there is a risk for me growing these light coloured dahlias. Last year, one of my dahlias, it escapes me, I'll put it on the screen, which is a really pale pink, was just savaged by bugs. But because of that, it was actually quite good, because it meant all the other dahlias looked fairly good. So having these light coloured dahlias is a risk, but my plan is to grow them in my polytunnel. And although I will need the doors of the polytunnel open for ventilation, I plan to have EnviroMesh screens. So I'm hoping I can keep these pest free. That's also going to help, because this wedding where they particularly want whites and creams is right at the end of September. So if we've had an early frost and they're outside, they're going to be over. So apart from the Natalie G, the rest of these are all eventually going to be homed in the polytunnel. I did buy a few more things, as you would when you're doing a bit of plant shopping. I watched there's a really good podcast, I love it, Flowers podcast, and I've only recently found it, so I've been looking back through sort of back catalogues of videos, and I came across this Polyanthus tuberosa, which is supposed to be flower at the latter end. They're quite expensive, I've only got 5 in here, but I thought I'd give those a go for something different. And then these are a mix. These are the normal gladioli. So I grow a lot of different colour gladiolis. I grow some really chocolate ones and like really rich sort of reds, and I grow a lot of pink, the odd purple, but these are white. But then I also ordered, because I saw a beautiful bouquet being made once on YouTube. Don't you just love YouTube? It was by, I might have to write it in, British florist and grower, and she was making, I think it was a bridal bouquet, but I watched it so long ago, and she was using these ever so slightly different gladioli. One I'd ordered was in this video by the lovely people whose name escapes me, who I'll write in, and it's this very dainty gladioli with sort of a really deep, rich burgundy, plummy, purpley scent. Well, I've ordered some of those just because I saw them and I like them. Bulbs are a bit easier for me because you can put them in crates and then move them. They don't have to go in the ground. So I've planted a lot of alliums and things this year. But anyway, that's my order. Now let's find some pots and get them ready to take some cuttings. Okay, so I've just got a tray of compost. This is actually spent compost because I'm being tight. And this is going to go in my house. I suppose we ought to label them, hadn't we? Aren't they funny looking things? Look at all this old root from last year. I don't think I'm going to be able to see any eyes on these, but I will have a bit of a look. Oh no, there is one. So the reason I was looking to see if I could see an eye is because I want to lay it so that the eye can grow up. I mean, there might be more eyes on here that I can't see, but I can certainly see that one anyway. We don't really need all of this root on here. It's going to grow new roots, so right. I'm just going to push him into my tray a bit. I'm going to leave quite a lot of him poking out with that eye facing up. And I'm just going to get a few labels. I'm going to be starting them in my house, and I'm going to be starting them with heat and lights. I'm going to put more than one dahlia in the tray, just because I'm really limited on space. Very limited on space. Right, let's see if we can see an eye. Yeah, just the one there as well. So there's nothing technical about this. I'm just laying them on the compost. And making sure I label them. These dahlias are very asleep. I checked mine a few weeks ago. I need to check them again now. Mine almost look wide awake. Mine almost look like they never went to sleep. I can't find the eye on this one. There's a bit of a knobbly bit there, so I'm going to put that near the top, I think. And that was Snowflake. I'm using these quite large labels because I actually will use these labels when they go out into the field as well. Okay, that's that one. It's a bit of a shame about these plastic bags. I always find that a bit of a shame when things come in plastic. If you order cuttings from like Halls of Heaven, they package them brilliantly with no plastic. I really, you know, they should be really commended for that. They go to great efforts to get your cuttings to you in good condition. I'm going to try and take cuttings from the ones that I got as cuttings last year as well. Now what I have also got is some teeny tiny tubers which were created from some cuttings I took last year. So I don't know what they are because I don't think they ever flowered, so I'd like to get them growing along and find out, well, first of all, if the tubers are big enough for them to grow. So last year my beautiful cuttings arrived from Halls of Heaven, and I planted them up, and when I pinched them out, I kept the bits that I pinched out and I grew them on, but they didn't have time to flower, but they did produce these tiny little tubers, but I don't know who they are. And I'd had several. They've gone a bit mouldy, but they still feel really firm, so I think they'll be okay. So yeah, so I want to grow these on because I really liked all of the dahlias I had from Halls of Heaven last year. So even though I don't know who they are, I know I like them, if that makes sense. Yeah, these have not been stored as well as my other ones. See, that's the mushy bit. I'm going to take the mushy bit off. They're alright. Okay, they're okay. Let's hope my other dahlias are faring a bit better. And well, they were... Oh, there's a really mushy bit. Ugh. Oh, I don't know about this one. I don't know if that'll be enough. We'll try. We'll try. But yeah, I'm hoping I stored my other dahlias an awful lot better than I stored these. I'm not going to put these in the tray with those ones. I'm going to put them in individual pots. I'm not going to water these at all. I'm just putting them in. This is actually spent compost. It's already quite damp. And I don't need to label these because I don't know who they are. Right, well, they're definitely not staying in this shed because if they stay out here, the minute there's any cold weather, they will die. So they've got to go in the house, all of those. I'm not going to plant my gladioli yet. Gladioli take 90 days from when you plant them. And obviously I don't need them until later in the summer. So I'm going to take this box back in the house to look after it. And to be honest, I'm gonna open up this caramel antique to see if I can see any eyes, because I haven't got room to take cuttings from this whole tuber. But if there's a loose tuber I could take off with an eye, then I would do that. But this is a bit of a beast. So fast asleep, you just can't, really see any visible eyes. So I'm going to have to wait with her until I've got a bit more room, or until it warms up a bit. I can take cuttings from this one when I take cuttings from my other ones, because I then do it in the greenhouse. But at the moment, if we had a hard frost at the moment, the greenhouse is not protected because it's not heated. Okay, well, this isn't one of those videos where I'm now going to fast forward and show you them shooting, because I really am only doing this today. It's the 16th or 17th of February, something like that. But I will take them into my kitchen and I'll give you an update if they've done anything next week. But I can give you an update on a few things in the greenhouse. So we'll go over there and have a look. Okay, folks, so we've got sweet peas coming. You can see I got them out as soon as they started emerging because we didn't want them all leggy. But you can just see sweet peas. I think most of them, that one doesn't seem to have any, but most of them have got them poking out here on the corners. I know they didn't all have 4 seeds. A couple of them were short, but most of them have. So that's good. And then in here, who's in here? Ah, yes, someone made me laugh on my comments by telling me they call this the lavatory plant. And I think that's a brilliant way to remember it, because I'm not great. Is it Lavataria? Lavatera? Anyway, we've got 2 varieties of that in here. The one I grew last year, which is Silver Cup. And then the variety I've accidentally bought that says it's a dwarf variety. So, be interesting to see. Yeah, Pink Blush, I believe, is the dwarf. My mum grew a lovely white one year. But she just sort of grew it by accident. I don't think she ever bought the seed. But that's what I want, a white one. And then snapdragons are coming along. So you can see all their true leaves coming. Again, so this is the Silver Grow and this is the B&Q. Not a huge amount of difference at the moment. If anything, I would say this one, and this one, and the B&Q are doing better. Let me know what you think. I mean, it is close, but... yeah, so that's the B&Q, and no, sorry, that's the Silver Grow. The Silver Grow is more consistent, I would say. They're all about the same size. Whereas because the germination was more erratic in the B&Q, you've got these teeny tiny ones and then like these monsters. But anyway, we'll keep the experiment going. And then these are my, obviously, you all know I love phlox. It was my top 10 I've got to grow lots of phlox. This is tapestry, this is creme brulee, and cherry caramels in the house. But I cannot get my flocks of sheep to germinate, so I think I'm going to write to the company, because you all see it here. I can germinate them, but the flocks of sheep just will not seem to work. So I think I might contact them and see what they've got to say. And then I showed you all of these guys in the last video. You can see they're all still tucked up in here. Apologies now, I have cut my head off for a lot of the rest of this video, and that is again just because my front facing camera is broken, so I cannot see what I'm filming. I'm really sorry guys, I hope the content's still interesting enough for you. Thanks for sticking with it. And to the lovely people who have bought me a coffee, thank you very much. I'm already sort of browsing and putting things in my basket. And you can't see what's going on behind the scenes here, but there's been a lot of bad language, because every time I move too much, my iPad falls over, and that's how it got broken in the first place. So thank you very much for your donations towards my microphone and camera. Very greatly appreciated. I cannot wait. It's going to be fantastic. It should not just be better for me for filming with far better language, but hopefully the quality of the videos are better for you too. I will make sure I put the link for coffee buying in the description to this video. And as I say, it's definitely not compulsory, people, but if you do like my content and you'd like to contribute, then I'd be very, very grateful. Thanks for joining me today in my potting shed. I'm looking forward to showing you hopefully some nice new shoots on these new dahlia tubers, and when we do, of course, we'll take some cuttings together and watch them grow along. And I'm really hoping to show you some polytunnel progress at some point, but I've got to be honest, there has been none at the moment. I've been a bit distracted because I've got a new puppy. I will try and pop a picture in. So I'm doing lots of puppy training, letting puppy out for wheeze and all those sorts of things. But we all love a puppy, don't we? Thanks for watching. See you next time.